The Diani White House project is under construction and is also generating more jobs and more opportunities.
Guys, this is the Diani White House project
of climate change.
They've seen the mistake that they did with William Ruto, and they would like to change this leadership. This regime is already a car without brakes rolling downhill.
I believe that climate is so important.
Where we have carbon market business going on, climate change, we believe it is time to have a conversation about carbon tax. We've all agreed that enormous resources are required.
One of the most urgent tasks, not only for our movement, but for our country, is to decisively defeat the climate hysteria hoax.
I believe that climate is so important
that enormous resources are required.
Defeat the climate hysteria hoax.
Most Kenyans are thinking about how to remove an oppressive regime from power.
3 reasons to be very happy. 1, NATO becomes almost insignificant as it is. 2, Anthony Blinken, goodbye. 3, Meg Whitman, goodbye.
You can see in the US, Donald Trump didn't spend a penny of his money because he was funded by the people, and that's how leaders become accountable.
Morara Kebaso is on a roll, my friends, and his is somebody that we can see that William Ruto, he hooked his horse to the wrong carriage. He hooked his horse to President Biden, of all people, the most deep state politician that you could ever want to meet, the one who's wanting to grab your taxes and turn every citizen of the world into a worker for a big government, to make your government big and powerful while the people stay down there on the lower tier. And how they do that is wasteful spending. If you want to know if your government is cheating on you or corrupt, then look at your taxes. Especially when somebody like Morara Kebaso comes along and looks for the result of the money that was supposedly spent, your taxpayers' monies that were supposedly spent into projects that were to uplift the community.
Right, niko Kwale County, hapa ni Kobo South Ward.
118,790,822. The governor wanted to outcompete all governors. Wizi bila kazi.
I am in Kwale County. This is Coast Region. And you know, anytime I'm in a county, the first thing I always do is I visit the governor.
This Kombani market, which was supposed to cost 105 million shillings in the beginning, the contract was varied to 118 million shillings. Union people, I hope you seeing this. Yeah. There's no roof. The roof is gone, man.
And when you start finding, Morara Kebaso in Kenya has found billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that have just, they're said that they built this road or built this school or built this hospital or built this stadium, name it. They said they built it, the government said they built it. It's not there. It's non-existent, maybe, or just a shell of it. Somebody needs to get all the numbers. He's found out a lot of numbers. Now he's got to find the money, find out where that money is, because somebody has it, somebody's got it, whether it be a corrupt politician or somebody that stole from the government, fraud. There needs to be a head of an oversight committee. And this gentleman here, we look at who President Trump has just been, he's the new president of the United States. He was just elected. And who President Trump would work with. He definitely won't work with Ruto. I can tell you that, and we'll go over that. We'll go over some really key points on why President Trump will stay far away from William Ruto because he was kind of got sunken too deep in the Biden agenda, and which is a lot of hoaxing going on and a lot of stealing of taxpayers' money. With the Gen Z protesters that just came out in Kenya last year and changed the whole systematical governance, it's kind of important that we see this throughout, because not only are we going to point out the issues that Ruto is having and the issues that he will have in this administration, but also Raila Odinga being very deep-stated and into the same issues, which are basically tax money being dispensed into air and telling you that you're getting something that you're not, as well as Trump's version on what he sees as being legitimate against what he sees as being not legitimate. And I know a lot of us can say, well, he called Africa whole countries. And to keep it fair, Trump has said that about a lot of American states and a lot of American cities in the United States as a whole. At one point in time, I remember Trump saying the U.S. is, the news was saying, he said the U.S. is a third world hellhole run by thugs and perverts. I don't remember the exact phrase that he phrased it at, but the United States is a hellhole run by perverts and thugs. So you're not alone. And he was right to the extent that there were some really bad apples in Africa. But I think a lot of people need to get some stones and grow some. When the truth is spoken, let it be spoken in its entirety and without holding anything back, or we're not going to get anywhere. So now let's all just grab a drink and enjoy while we see Morara Kebaso literally destroy William Ruto's career, maybe even impeachment.
Matuga Affordable Housing Project is underway, creating daily employment for over 200 workers. Similarly, the Diani White House project is under construction and is also generating more jobs and more opportunities. Boma Yangu, a key platform in the program, exemplifies our commitment to economic empowerment.
Similarly, the Diani White House projects is also under construction, creating more opportunities every day.
The Diani White House project is under construction and is also generating more jobs and more opportunities.
Guys, this is the Diani White House project. Unajua, when we say Ruto is a liar, watu huona ni kama tunamuonea. Look, this is the Diani White House project that is under construction, that is creating more opportunities every day. Every day. Not just last week, not next week alone. This is the Diani White House project, which is creating more opportunities every day. Hey, hey, hey. My friend, the faster we get Ruto home, the better for every Kenyan. The faster we take him home, the better. If we delay even, wacha tu nisiongee sana. Of all Vampire Diaries I've done, this is the most annoying. Because you know someone is a liar, but you need to catch them lying before you. Angalia nyumba za watu walibomoa. These are people who've lived here for years and years. Wakabomoa nyumba ili wajenge watu nyumba. You know, they demolished houses to build houses. No easy. And they're going to demolish even these ones. They've already earmarked them for demolition. So now, hiyo siku Ruto alikuja na tinga yake, akafanya hivi. Hapa. Now, this is remember this speech was just recent. When he was in Kwale County. The very latest public holiday, Mashujaa Day. This is his latest speech. Juzi tu. Hata mate yenye ilitemwa chini hivi haijakauka. It's creating opportunities. The Diani White House project, which is creating more opportunities every day. The Diani White House project. Okay, how do I say it? Find another way. Mimi nataka niwaeleze hivi. Sasa mpango wetu wa housing hapa Diani ambao umepatia vijana kazi kila siku. It is ongoing in construction and creating opportunities every day. Crime scene. Crime scene. Crime scene. These are the opportunities. Hii nyasi, hii ni opportunity A, opportunity B, opportunity D, opportunity C. Hapa ndio pale mahali wao wanakata ribbon. Wizi bila kazi.
Now that is somebody that President Trump would love to have in his office, and it's somebody that America would love to have in the office as well. That gentleman right there, Morara Kebaso, I think he's just destroyed William Ruto's career. Literally, it's gone. It's gone. He is the next president probably of Kenya. Either him or Jimmy Wanjigi. Not sure about Jimmy Wanjigi. He's pretty deep-stated too, but Trump is going in right now to weed out the bad apples in America. And who he operates with, who he works with outside of America in relations to trade and marketing and stuff like that, sure. Anybody in Africa is going to be an open door for trade and marketing going back and forth. No problem there. But as far as Ruto's plan that he had to go and free Haiti with the military, with the Kenya's military, Trump is definitely nixing that out. And as far as the Green New Deal that was supposed to cost $92 trillion in total for climate change, President Trump is not with it. And any politician that word keeps coming out of their mouth, climate change, climate change, climate change, and fearing their people and their citizens into paying for something that they can't see. You won't be able to see the data for it. They will not be able to show you a change in the climate. And especially if they're already having problems with their funding on what they're supposed to be working on that you can see, like buildings and bridges and roads that Morara Kebaso is pretty much saying, look, they said they were building this, hundreds of millions of shillings and hundreds of millions of dollars, and there's nothing there. And that is something that you pay for in your taxes that you're supposed to see. And it's supposed to put people to work. It's supposed to get jobs and create, it's supposed to be for the people. Now, when it comes to climate change, which Raila Odinga, of course, is jumping on it because there is a lot of money and it's going to be floating around here, there, and everywhere. It's like a human rights thing. You can't see it economically. So with this being said, let me just give you a description of what's happening, what's going to be happening now with Ruto. You will not be hearing, put it this way, you're not going to be hearing them say climate change all the time anymore. It's not going to be that big deal that they were making it. Why? Because the money's gone. They're not going to make it a big deal. They're not going to try to put this money out themselves. They wanted to be borrowing money that they can tax you on so that they can put it wherever they would like to. And on the continent of Africa, many of the countries, the people are screaming, quit with the taxes. Enough is enough. Let's start making some money. Think about Odinga's career. Think about Raila Odinga's career. How often did you hear the man scream climate change? How important it is, how needful climate change is. You haven't. You haven't, because they haven't talked about it. Ruto did not run on climate change to be voted for president. But now that he's president and he sees that money bag that they're offering for climate change, he wants in. They all want in. So whenever you start hearing a politician scream climate change, climate change, climate change, a big red should be going off in your head. Here's the deal.
Africa, for example, has got also one of the biggest carbon sinks in the world, the second largest of the Amazon, the Congo forest. Climate change is bigger than the election coming up in 2022 or the ones coming that will follow in 2027 and 2032. It is a life and death matter that has cornered everyone all over the planet. I believe that climate is so important that going forward, we need to have a National Climate Council and situate it within the presidency. How does Ruto sanction the setting of trees on fire?
Last week, we changed the regulations on carbon markets and carbon credits. Where we have carbon market business going on, that we must make sure that 40% of the proceeds, climate change is a reality that we must live with.
Dang, bro's got a costume for every occasion, don't he? Like a Hollywood salesman.
To be able to drive these new investment and financing opportunities, especially for green energy, we believe it is time to have a conversation about carbon tax. I said we need to have a conversation about carbon tax. And I mean we need to have a conversation about carbon tax. Yes. We believe it's the only way, it's among the ways that we can raise additional and adequate resources for us to finance our development.
See, this is the pitch he came back to Kenya with after he got done talking to Joe Biden. Joe Biden is with all this. But Donald Trump, he's different.
One of the most urgent tasks, not only for our movement, but for our country, is to decisively defeat the climate hysteria hoax. The ocean is rising, it's coming, it's within 300 years we're going to gain 1/100th of an inch in the ocean and have a little more beachfront property. It's going to be a terrible thing. No, it's a hoax. The whole thing is it's so crazy. In the meantime, our factories can't perform. They want us to use wind, intermittent wind. Darling, I'd like to watch the president tonight on television. No, you can't. The wind isn't blowing, right? The wind isn't blowing. There's no television tonight, darling. The wind isn't blowing. And by the way, our house went down to about 30% of the value because we're near a windmill that makes a lot of noise, kills all our birds, and ruins the landscape. Other than that, it's a wonderful thing for the environment. These people are crazy. But they're radical climate people, and I don't believe they mean it. They can't mean it because it's too easy. They can't mean it. The radical left's fear-mongering about climate and our future is no longer just scaring American youth. It's destroying America's economy, weakening our society, and eviscerating our middle class. It's really hurting us. And conservative leaders, think tanks, and intellectuals must be fearless in calling out the lunacy of what you're seeing and what you're being led into. The world is not ending. Our future is not dying. We have to defeat the climate hoaxsters once and for all. You know, they said we only had 12 years to live. That was 4 years ago, remember? They said our country has 12 years. And that was like, I said, oh, what happened? What happened? They said, it's the climate. I said, really? Oh, that doesn't make sense. So that means we only have 8 years. That's ridiculous. The real problem is with nuclear weapons, we may only have 6 months. You talk about global warming, that's the real global warming, not the global warming hoax that they don't even use it anymore. They call it climate change. Remember, they used to call it global warming. The planet is warm, but that wasn't working out too well because a lot of places were extremely cool. So they were getting killed. They were getting killed. And then they changed it all of a sudden, climate change, because you can't miss on climate change. It can go up, it can go down, it can go 15 different directions. It's climate change, it's killing us. Now these people have got a lot of problems.
So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. No more games. The truth is, Trump would definitely love to make deals and trades and get some money moving around with Morara Kebaso. That would be picture perfect person for Trump to make a deal with. Somebody who cares about the economy, somebody who knows that he wants, when he wants something built, he gets what he paid for and the people get what they paid for. He wants to weed out the system and get rid of the corruption and the bureaucrats that have been there forever. That's his gig. No more games for the politicians, and I believe that's what the Gen Zers of Kenya wanted, and hopefully that's what they're going to get. That's what we're praying for, and we know that no one person can change the world. It's got to be God. It's got to be Jesus and the power of his name coming down and changing the system and ripping it out and shaking it to its cozy little hive and putting the people, giving them the freedom, because where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. All these other government officials and agencies, well, yeah, it's government. So hopefully you like, subscribe, join the family. One love. Have a blessed day, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.